Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga. We are in January 2023 working on Yang style yoga, which is a little bit more movement oriented and flowing style of yoga just to elevate the body's metabolic rate a little bit more calorie burn during our practice, and getting just the body energized. And we have two sides of our neurological system. That side that is the fight or flight, where we get those hormones in our body like epinephrine, norepinephrine, the heating side of our system. And then we have that rest and digest, relaxing side where we slow everything down, in the cooling side. So this month we're working on that heating side of our system to get the body energized and to just kind of heat our metabolic system. What I have today and what you'll need for toward the end of class is I have a blanket, or maybe you could use a larger towel, a beach towel. At the end of class, we're going to roll that and place it down the long way of our spine, and we're going to do a little restorative pose just to open up the heart. So David has requested for class today that we do some chest expansion, some heart openers. We sit a lot in this position. He plays guitar. I know Esther plays flute. There's a lot of reasons why we're in this forward position that we need to really pull ourselves out of that and get some good posture. So we're going to be strengthening the upper back, opening those tight muscles of the chest and shoulder, and doing that through some movement. I also have blocks that you might need, and go ahead and pick up your yoga strap if you have one. If you don't, you can grab a kitchen towel, a belt, a tie, something like that, that's just going to give you something to hold on to. And when we hold it, I want you to open and pull outward against it and feel the difference. If you just hold it and relax your arms, there's no tension in your muscles. But if you hold it and pull like you're going to tear it in half, I want you to feel the muscles of the outsides of your shoulder working. And then take that and bring it back. So you're really going to retract the shoulder blades as you have that energy in your arms. Already I'm feeling that in my triceps a little bit. Keep that tension on the yoga strap, and as you inhale, bring your arms up any amount. And exhale and lower them down, and try not to lose the tension. Just go at your own pace. Let the rhythm of your breath really drive the speed of your movement. And start to check in with your shoulders. I have my feet maybe about hips distance apart. You can bring them a little wider for a stronger base of support, or you can bring them in a little bit closer for a little bit more work on balance. Now, if you're feeling any pain in your shoulders, you can reduce that range of motion. We're going to add a side bend. So next time those arms come up, any height, brace your core and take it to the right side. Open up that left side waist. Pull it back up, still having tension on the yoga strap, and lower the arms down. 4 parts to the movement. And inhale to lift. And exhale to side bend. And inhale to come back to neutral. And our exhale to lower down. Let's do that one more time each direction. If you're feeling too much work in your shoulders, just back off a little bit on the tension you're applying on the yoga strap, but still have some tension. Here's our last one, moving to the left. And then once you reach the bottom, pause for a moment, relax. Take that tension away from the yoga strap. You can do a couple of arm circles. and then the other direction. So there's a few balance poses we're working on from the New York Times article. I'd like you to stand on your right foot and tap your left big toe to the side. Pull again outward on that strap. We'll lift the arms up again, inhaling. And then as you exhale, take your little side bend over. Keep your balance here and lift your left foot away from the mat 3 times. Tap it down. And 2. And 1. Tap it down. Come up. As you lower your arms down, close your feet back together. Right foot taps to the side. Inhale. Tension on the yoga strap. Exhale into your side bend. Brace and find your balance. Lift that right foot up. 3, 2, 1. Come back up to center. Lower the arms and slide that foot back in. All right, let's take the yoga strap behind our back. This is going to give us more chest expansion. And you can have your hands as wide as you need to on the strap to give yourself some room to lift your arms up behind you. So try not to shrug shoulders up, really press down, and we'll lift the arms up and lower down. And doing that with the breath, we'll take the inhalation as the arms are moving away from the body, and exhale back down. Now, if you would like to, you can add a baby back bend. So as you inhale and lift your arms, allow your heart to come up slightly toward the ceiling. And as you exhale and lower the arms, come back to that neutral position. We're still pulling outward on the yoga strap to find that connection with the muscles of your shoulders. And 2 more. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good, release the yoga strap. You can set that off to the side and just stand in mountain pose and just notice what you're feeling. Maybe some heat in the muscles here, a little bit of stretching, maybe more freedom of range of motion. Now face the palms towards each other so that your thumbs are forward. We'll lift the right arm up as the left arm goes back behind you. So we're making kind of a little slicing action. And then you'll come down and switch that. So now the left arm is coming up. The right arm is coming back behind you as far as you can. Now, as you do this, try not to twist your body. So if I twist, I can reach further back with that back arm, but that's not what we want to get. We're looking for range of motion in the shoulder. You're inhaling as you're coming into this fullness and exhaling as you're transitioning to the other side. Now, next time the right arm comes up, we're going to try to touch the back of the neck with that right hand. And the left hand is going to turn the back of the hand toward the small of your back. So this is basically our cow face position. And then release that and then switch. So as the left arm comes up, you try to touch the back of the neck. The right hand, we're reaching the fingertips maybe as closely as we can to one another. But take your time to find what this range of motion is for you. And if you kind of lose track of the breath, it's okay where you're breathing, just as long as you are breathing and not holding your breath through this movement. And you'll probably notice For most of us, if you are right hand dominant, when your right hand is down and you're reaching back, there's less of a range of motion than when your left arm is down. You might be able to reach your hands closer. So that's just typical because we have usually our right hand is out in front of us, our right arm is out in front of us, so sometimes that shoulder is a little tighter. Next time the left arm is the one on top. That'll be your last one. And then just come down and relax. Take a minute to notice, maybe a couple of shoulder rolls each direction. So when we move our limbs on this path, like we're walking, this is called the sagittal plane. When we move our arms out to the side, it's called the frontal plane. So we're going to do the same thing we just did, but your arms, instead of crisscrossing in front of you, will go to the sides. So let's start here. As the right arm comes up, the left arm goes behind, and you're going to do your cow face. Then move along the frontal plane as you switch. Go slow and moving with the breath. Make sure this still feels okay with your shoulders. Let's do one more on each side so that you've got this action. When you finish the left on top, come back out and relax both arms. So what I want to do is that same sequence in Warrior One. So step your right foot forward. I'm going to move my blanket a little bit out of the way so I can stay facing you. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. And we are in a hip distance apart position. So you don't want to be on your balance beam, although that's in our list of exercises this month. It's going to be more difficult if you don't have some distance apart. So I just want you to practice arms out. As you shift your body weight into your right foot, pick up your left knee, and you'll be in single leg stance, which is one of our exercises, and then step back into Warrior One. Now, if it doesn't feel comfortable for your arms to be there, they can be anywhere you like. We're just working on stepping in and out of that pose for balance. And you're moving at your own pace. Get a good hold and a pause. And step back. Let's do one more on this leg. And step back. Now take the arms out. As the left arm comes up, the right arm comes behind you. Into cow face, take a little side bend over. And then as you come up, lift up your left knee. And take it back. Cow face with a side bend. And lift that left knee. Now we can make this more challenging if we do the cow face also as we're lifting the left knee. So as you come up, lift the knee and do your cow face the opposite direction. So we step back, side bend, come up, and reach. 2 more repetitions. If you're struggling with the balance, maybe you're taking the arm sequence out and just working on the balance position. 1 more time. Step back into Warrior One, hold those arms out. Bend your elbows so you are in goal post. And just check and make sure the arms aren't up too high in goalposts because that tends to make your shoulders elevate. So drop those elbows down just a little bit lower than your shoulders. Inhale, pull your arms back, pinch your shoulder blades. Exhale and try to touch your hands and your elbows together. If they don't meet, that's okay. Whatever your range is, open and close. Inhale and exhale. Let's get 2 more for 5 of these. And one more time, we open, full range of motion, and we close. Now you can stay in this position, or we can wrap the right arm underneath the left and come into eagle. Just get a really good stretch through your upper back. Drop your elbows down. Pull your shoulder blades down. The hands can slightly come away from your face. And you can stay upright for this stretch, or we can take and bow this down into humble warrior. So I'm going to reach my elbows down toward the right knee, and then really pull the abdominals in and let the upper back open up and round and release. Breathe into the back of the shoulder blades. 2 more breaths. And then we inhale to come up. As you unravel the arms, open back out into one more chest expansion. Pull those elbows back. Maybe lift the heart into a baby back bend. And then step back to our mountain pose. Pause for a moment just to check in. Shoulders are back, abdominals engaged, and then we'll step the right foot back so we're in the opposite warrior 1 position. My back foot is slightly turned out. My hips are square. This is a closed hip pose. And so as we bring our arms out, now this time the right arm comes up, the left arm comes back, and we come into our cow face. Take a little baby side bend over to the left. This opens up the hip flexor. And then as you come up, pick the back knee up off the floor, hold your balance. And then step back, right arm comes up. Side bend. Right knee comes up. This is my harder side for sure. So if you want to make this more challenging, we take cow face here. And then as you balance, take cow face the other direction. Wow, I can't believe the difference in this side of my balance. I mean, it's normal for me, but it's really showing up today. And we'll just go back to focusing your awareness on your breathing. There's no right or wrong way to when to breathe. Kind of depends on how long you want to hold your balance, your speed of movement. Let's get 2 more. The balance is cooperating a little bit better now. 1 more. Then step out into that warrior 1 again, opening the arms here. Readjust your stance, bend your elbows, goalpost arms. Inhale, pull back. Exhale and close. So last week, when I posted my video, I was talking about how a yang practice focuses a little bit more on metabolic calorie burn. And Joyce messaged me on Facebook and she said, could you talk about that? And there's two ways that we can increase our metabolic calorie burn. And that is, we can increase it in the moment. If we're moving our body more energized, getting our heart rate up, we're going to be burning more calories than we do at rest. All right, that's our last one. We'll close it in. You can stay here, or you can wrap the left arm underneath, or you can even hold here at your shoulders. So let's get our stretch here on this side and hold. Shoulder blades are down, elbows are down. You can also play with lifting the elbows up a little bit. The shoulders should stay down. The hands can move away from the face. And then we can stay upright or bow into humble warrior. Really release any tension you've got here. I can feel that tension releasing all the way from my lower back, all the way up the spine to the back of my head. So the second way we can increase metabolic calorie burn is over time. And the way that we do that is by increasing our muscle mass. So with strength training, when we're building muscle, more muscle tissue we have, the more calorie burn we have at rest, which is called our resting metabolic rate. All right, let's inhale and come back up. And then unravel the arms open. Pull those shoulder blades back. And then relax the arms and step back into our mountain pose. So in our yang practice, what we want to do is hit those two ways. So we want to burn more calories now in the moment in our practice by making this more of a moving practice. We want to build strength so that we have more muscle mass in the future to help us lift our metabolic rate. So let's do it in the moment by coming in and out of chair. So as you are upright, pull the arms back, inhale. As you exhale, sit into chair and bring the arms forward any amount. Now, if it doesn't feel comfortable to come right up to the ears, we can be here, we can be lower, so you pick that range of motion. And let's come up. Inhale, open, maybe a baby back bend too. Exhale and sink. So we can do this very slowly and mindfully in a practice where we can pick up the pace and make it a little bit more energized and vibrant. So for about 60 seconds, I just want you to move through this pose at a pace that you can keep your good form and good alignment, but at a pace where you feel your heart rate elevating, you feel your legs strengthening, you feel the core muscles bracing for you, your breathing rate is picking up, and you're really connecting with the muscles as you pull the arms back. So that's our heart opener. That's our strengthening the upper back and stretching the chest for good posture and alignment. Let's do about another 15 seconds. One more repetition. Then rise up, pull those arms back, hold. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your back. Really roll your shoulder blades toward one another and lift your arms as much as you feel comfortable here. So I want to give you the opportunity to stay upright or to bow forward. Both choices are great. So if you're going to bow forward, we'll sit in a baby chair first. So we'll bend the knees, keep the chest upright, and then start to fold your upper body down toward your legs. From here, you can keep your knees really bent and keep lifting the arms behind you. Or if you feel pretty flexible in your hamstrings, you can straighten those legs any amount and hold. This can be done with your yoga strap too, which is really nice. And let's stay here 3 breaths. And if you're folded forward, we need to come out the way we came in. So first, your knees will bend quite a bit. Then you'll use the strength of your back body to lift your chest up off your thighs. You're in chair. Then you'll press into the mat to straighten your legs. Arms are still behind you. And then release the hands. Relax through the upper body, a couple of shoulder rolls each direction. And let's step out the long side of your mat. And we'll turn out the right foot and we'll turn in the left into a parallel position, coming into your warrior 2. So with our warrior 2 stance, if you look down at your mat, you want to draw a straight line from the right heel into the instep of your left foot. So this one would be like you were standing on a balance beam this direction. Now, depending on the flexibility of this leg, that's going to determine where your hips are pointing. So in a perfect world, if we all had really open hips, then our entire hips would be facing this way. But I'm a little tight here, so I have to turn my hips on a slight angle. But then we can bring the upper body to face forward, right? Because we have this ability to twist. So as the right arm comes behind you, the left arm touches the right shoulder. And then we'll open this back out. Same side again, right hand behind you, left hand touches the right shoulder. Then we're going to add a twisting action with this. So as you reach the right shoulder, turn toward that right foot and then open back out. And reach right hand behind, rotate, and open back out. One more this way. And come center. Now take a reverse warrior. So this right palm comes up. We side bend over. And then as you come up, twist, right hand behind you, left hand to your right shoulder. Open out, reverse warrior. Come up and turn. Now I really want you to feel your core here working. So use the QL muscles of the lower back to side bend, and then we use the obliques and the QL also to rotate into that twist. Now my last option to give you is a cow face arms as you're doing your reverse warrior. So we come here, right arm comes up, left hand comes behind you, reaching in your cow face, and then we come up and twist, wrap around your body. Now let's put the breath with this. So when we're twisting, that's our exhale. When we're side bending, it's our inhale. So really breathe in here and breathe out to rotate. Let's get 2 more. And 1 more time. Then open back out to your warrior 2. Now this leg may be saying, give me a break at the moment. So let's straighten it, Reach those arms up, stretch, and then as you open your arms back out, really bend your right knee and sink down. Push up, inhale, exhale, sink down. Now we're working that right leg. It's a closed chain leg extension. I have a leg press. We're pushing down into the mat, strengthening the quad and glute, and then bending that knee again. Let's do 2 more. If you need to take the arms out, it's not a big deal not to reach clear above the head. Now let's hold this. If your arms are tired, you can bring them at your heart center, and let's pulse this action 10 times. I don't know if you can hear that little pop. It's pretty loud. That's my left knee. That's called bone-on-bone arthritis. 4, 3, it doesn't hurt. 2, and 1. All right, straighten that leg all the way out, and we'll come into triangle. So this is going to give us a nice stretch here. Reach the arms out long, shift your body and reach. Take your right hand down, left arm up. And I'm not using really this arm to weight myself. I'm using my core here. So my hand is just there. We can also reach this arm further over. This changes the lever so that we're working our core even harder. You can also bring this hand right across the abdomen to really work your core. 2 breaths. Keep rolling this shoulder back, so I'm not rounding forward. 1 more breath. And then we soften the knee and come back up and relax the arms down. Okay, we've got a lot to do on the other side. So let's change our stance. Pivot your right foot in, pivot your left foot out. Make sure you're still in that heel to arch alignment. Notice where your hip flexibility is here and point your hips wherever you can. If we turn our hips too much, then our knee is going to go in. So push this knee out so that it's in alignment with your ankle, and then turn your chest forward, and we'll reach those arms out. Shoulder blades are down. All right, now as we bring our left hand behind us, our right hand touches our left shoulder. And then open. Just do that 1 more time. It always feels a little different when you do something the other direction from where we did it before. So the brain is, I had to think about it for a minute. Okay, now as we do this, we twist, and then we open back out. Exhale, twist, and open. 1 more this way. And then we'll add a reverse warrior. So the left palm lifts, we come into that reverse warrior. As we come back out, twist, left hand behind your back, right hand reaches your left shoulder. And then open out, reverse warrior. And rotate. I'm trying to get my chest to face the short edge of my mat. So I'm really using those muscles to pull and to twist. Now, if you'd like, you can add cow face. So right hand behind your back, left arm, the elbow comes up, and then we twist. So there's a lot of muscle action happening through our core and through our arms that is moving work. But the legs are doing static work. So isometric work for your legs. Let's do 3 more. Try to exhale in the twist and inhale in that reverse warrior, if that works for you. One more time. And then come back out. This left leg needs a little break, so straighten it. Lift your arms up, stretch. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend that knee as deeply as you feel comfortable. Now, we don't want to take the knee way over the toes, so be conscious that you don't have your feet too close together and you're really bending your knee excessively. That's going to put a lot of torsion on the knee. And this push away is where we're really activating that quadricep group and the glute on your left side. You can also turn your head forward as the arms are up and out to your left hand. 2 more. Last one. Hold. Arms can be wherever you want here. Hips, heart, reaching out. And let's pulse and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5. Good posture. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push all the way up to straighten the leg. Prepare for triangle. Reach the arms out. You're going to send your body long towards that left side of your mat, and then just cartwheel your hands down. You're going to side bend, not a forward bend. So keep pulling this top shoulder back to open up. We can stay here, and there's not much weight on this hand at all. Really use your core here. Right arm can reach closer to the ear. You can wrap this left arm in. For even more, you can reach both arms long. This really gives you a lot of work in the core. Let's hold 3 more breaths. Last breath in. Pull yourself up, softening this knee. Coming back to your warrior 2. Drop your arms down. And then we'll pivot both feet forward. Now you can have a slight turn out of your toes if this really bothers your ankles to excessively turn them in. I want you to have some comfort in that ankle joint. We'll bring the hands to the hips, keep the back nice and straight. Set your sitting bones back and start to come forward into a forward bend as far as you feel comfortable to stretch your hamstrings. So with props, you might have a chair in front of you to place your hands. You could have blocks down on the floor. You could bring your hands all the way to the mat and just relax everything in that posterior chain. Come back to your breathing. And then bring your hands back to your hips. Using the strength of the back body, pull yourself back up. And we are going to walk our heels in and our toes in, and then our heels in, so we're in a more relaxed position with the feet. And you can adjust that wherever you'd like. So we'll take a nice breath in, inhale up, and come into our sunflowers. The arms come down, they cross in front of us, and then we inhale, they cross above the head, and they exhale, they cross low. So again, this can be done very slowly and more of a cooling pose, or we can start to heat the body and get the heart rate back up. So about 1 minute, going at your own pace. If you don't want to fold forward, if that bothers your back, then I want you to stay upright and do your sunflowers this way. Just squat and lift. If your shoulders hurt, your arms can just go this high, wherever you want to be today. And let's apply the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. We want to increase our metabolic calorie burn in the moment, but we're strengthening our legs to keep our body's muscle mass up so that our resting metabolic rate doesn't decline, because it does decline as we age. It's just a simple fact, but it's also a use it or lose it. So if we're not working these muscles every day, we're going to be losing muscle mass. Then our resting metabolic rate will decrease. Our daily calorie burn will decrease. And we'll wonder why we're gaining weight even though we're not eating more food. All right, 3 more. On your last one, just come up, take a nice 5-pointed star. And then if you'd like, you can bring your hands here. Eyes can close. You're just noticing what you're feeling with your heart rate, with your breathing rate. Where is your breath? Let that calm and slow. So we're going to be coming down onto the mat, and I want your heart rate to come down a little bit. We don't ever want to go supine or prone too fast when the heart rate is lifted. So give yourself a second. If you need a little drink of water, something like that, that would be good. So one of our New York Times exercises is bird dog. So we are going to do bird dog down on the mat, and also the option to work your triceps. So with this class, I mentioned that we might from time to time use a light hand weight. So I want you to choose a hand weight, if you like, that you can do a tricep kickback. And for me, I am grabbing a 3. All you'll need is 1. And let's come down onto your mat, onto your hands and knees. So bird dog is such an important exercise. We do it a lot. It's a great strengthener for the back and for the core and for our brain and body for balance. So let's take the left leg straight back behind you. Make sure that your left hip didn't lift up. So you want to have it still level. Grab that hand weight with your right hand and bring your elbow up. So if you choose not to work the arm today with the weight, I still want you to do this action without a weight and move your arm. So shoulders are squared, back leg is active, and we straighten the arm and then just bend it to 90 degrees. And we're not going rapid fire pace with these because I don't want you to start to get momentum and a swinging action. I'd like you to pause at the top, scoop your abdominals in, head is neutral, and about 4 more here, looking for approximately 10 repetitions. Exhale when the arm extends. 3, 2, hold it straight on 1, slightly lift and slightly lower. Now, if this is too much weight, 2 choices. You can set your weight down and just do your arm weight, or you can lift and lower the arm with a bent elbow. So you can always come up and down right here. It makes it much more doable. Let's get 5, 4, 3, scoot the core in, 2, hold it up, 1, bend the elbow, and set your weight down, and return to all 4s, hands and knees. If you need a little break here for your back, you can set it back into child's pose, or just take a cat stretch. Tuck your tailbone under, maybe move your hips a little bit from side to side. While you're stretching, I'm switching sides so you can see the working arm. Okay, so now we have opposites, right? So our right leg goes back. We always have the opposite hand and knee on the ground, so we're making a diagonal position. Really activate that leg, square off your hips, pick up your left elbow. Make sure your shoulder isn't dropping down. Roll it back and away from your ear. And we straighten. 1. Bend to 90 degrees. 2. Now, even if you don't have a weight, you can do this and you can squeeze the muscle, right? So you can still find some activation of that muscle if you're not using weight. There's a lot we can do that are body weight exercises that keep our body strong. Recheck your alignment as we get 4 more. 3, 2, straighten and hold. Slightly lift and slightly lower. Up and down. So both of these exercises work the tricep just in a little bit different way because it's moving from a different joint. The first exercise moved from the elbow joint. This one moves from the shoulder joint. The tricep crosses both of those joints. 4, 3, still strong through the midsection. 2, and 1. Bend your elbow. Set your weight down. Come back to all fours. And take the stretch that you would like to do here, maybe a child's pose or a cat stretch. And breathe. So we'll be coming into locust. If for some reason it bothers you to lay on your tummy, and you might be doing this class later on YouTube and might be someone who is expecting a baby, so you don't want to be down on your belly. So if you don't want to go to your tummy, you're going to just be alternating legs extending back or alternating your bird dog, opposite hand and opposite leg. If you're coming with me into our locust, we'll come down onto the tummy. The chest is slightly lifted off the floor. And I want you to make sure that you look down toward your mat. So if you look at the screen, my head is in the correct position here. But if I look forward, that is not correct. I'm really pinching the back of my neck. So keep your eye gaze down, but lift your chest up and then lower down. So our first option here is just lifting the chest. And if you need a little help from your arms, you can definitely set them down onto the floor, but try not to push with your arms very much. You really want to work your back. Your next option is as you come up, lift one leg. And you're lifting it from the buttock, not from bending your knee. So not like this, but lift with a straight leg and squeeze the glute. You're just alternating legs. Your last option is to lift both legs at the same time that your chest comes up. So everything lifts, but try not to look forward. Keep that chin tucked and lower down. So let's either do 2 more on each leg or 4 more with both legs. And where you breathe is a difficult one on this because our abdomen is really compromised to take the breath. So just breathe wherever it feels okay for you. I think we have 1 more. Let's bring it up. And then relax. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your elbows squeezed in, so try not to let them open out. Squeeze them in and push yourself up and back to child's pose. So if you're pretty spent now and you want to stay in child's, give you the option to stay here and stretch. If you're ready for one more strengthening exercise to build that metabolic rate, we're going to come from child's pose back down onto your belly using your triceps and shoulders. So we come up and we use those muscles to come all the way down. Release completely on the floor, then push yourself back up and back to your child's pose. Now, if that's too much, but you still want to do something, then come forward and bend your elbows a little, and then push back up and come into child's pose. So let's get about 4 or 5 more. You choose the range of motion. Keep your elbows squeezed in tight to the midsection, right alongside your rib cage. That's that chaturanga push-up. 2 or 3 more. One or 2 more. When you feel like you've had your fill, come back to child's pose. All right, it's time for our restorative stretch that I mentioned at the beginning of class. So if you have a little blanket, just a throw blanket or a beach towel, you're just going to roll it up so that it, looks like about this long. If it's longer or shorter, that's okay too, because that's going to just go right between your shoulder blades. I'm going to set it on my mat. And then you probably will need either a block or a pillow at this end to rest your head. If you don't have any of those props, you just get to lay down on your back and open your arms out nice and wide. So when we come down to this blanket or towel, depending on how long it is, you might be sitting on it with your hips or you might be sitting on the floor. So mine is fairly short, so I'm going to bring my hips down onto the floor, tuck that blanket in really close, roll myself back. It's going right between my shoulder blades, and then I want to bring that block. I might not need the block today. A block if you need it. And then notice how much you can open your shoulders. So ideally, I want you to be able to get your arms down to the floor. Because if they're hanging up here, you're going to be tightening these muscles instead of relaxing them. So make sure that your elbows can come down. Your hands should be able to come down too. And then start to breathe into that stretch. Now, what do you do with your legs? So there's a lot of options. You can keep your knees bent like mine is right now. You can allow your knees to tip towards one another so that you're really relaxed in your hips. Or you can bring your feet together and let your knees open out into a hip opener. This is our Supta Baddha Konasana. Or you can let your legs completely straighten out for more of a traditional Shavasana position. Try to find one that is so comfortable, you're not going to want to come out of it for a little while. And then we'll move our awareness to where we're feeling the release. And it's okay if you say, gosh, I have a pretty big towel behind my shoulder blades, but I'm really not feeling anything. Well, that's okay. You have a good range of motion, and it's all right for this to be very subtle and just a very gentle range of motion. It's still very beneficial for our body. So you might be saying, this is really intense and I'm only going to be able to stay here for a minute or even less. And then if that's you, when that time comes and it's time to exit that, just bring your arms down and rest your hands right across your abdomen or any other position on the floor that feels a little bit better. And then I want you to find where your heart center is, right in the center of the chest that's elevated up by the blanket or the towel. And send your breath there. So as you inhale, imagine that this area is a balloon and you're going to fill that balloon, expanding it up to the ceiling and also expanding your rib cage outward. And then as you exhale, let that flatten back out. Eyes should be closed. Everything in the body relaxed and softened. Now, if you're watching later on YouTube, just hit the pause button and stay here as long as you like. Or if you're with me live and this is a great stretch, you don't have to come out of the pose when I close class, or you can remember this to perform on your own, really even on a daily basis, really super beneficial for our posture. And posture doesn't correct itself in one yoga class. It's that consistency over time of stretching the muscles that are tight and strengthening the ones that are weak. It's a journey. And we'll be here just a little bit longer. If there's a way you'd like to change your arms, so I'm going to try to bring mine up a little farther and really stretch them above my head. I feel a little different stretch there. You can try that. Another nice one is just to interlace them and bring them back behind the head and just let your elbows open. But if there's any pain, that's not the place for you today. Come back to your breath. If you're feeling anything in the low back here with legs outstretched, go ahead and bend your knees again. And that'll feel a little bit better for that lumbar spine. You can actually tuck your pelvis under, just